Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dinks with Kinks. I'm your host, John, and with me tonight is my co-host, Rebecca and Shep.
Hi, everyone. What? Wait, what? That's like I'm not okay with that intro.
Listen. Tonight's a serious topic. I have to clamp down the humor, okay? I have to clip tight clips on all of what we're doing, little sound clips.
Fun fact, I was waiting for him to
really
say that
clamping
word
down.
for word comment. We had to clamp it down, and he did.
Clamp it down.
Good
and
boy.
He did.
Good boy, you did exactly what I meant you did.
I know. Hey, listen. I'm here to support and be on topic. Before we get started tonight, I want to remind everyone that we are in fact on that social media. So like, subscribe, follow, reach out, talk to us at Dinks with Kinks on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're there. We're talking. Yeah, clamp it down, everybody. Clamps. You know, should I use these things? These things that are on my hands that I use every day? Should I clamp them? So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, tonight we are covering Futurama. Clamps of all sorts and clips. We're really getting into it tonight.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever experienced clamps? Either on yourself or a partner?
No, I have not, but I wanted to. I was a little leery at first because I have such sensitive nipples and such. But now it's just like, you know what? I pinch them. So why wouldn't I like clamps or, so yeah.
That's why you start off with the Dollar Tree plastic ones with a little bit of pressure and you work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about moderation.
So what we're talking about tonight, of course, is, and if, the best way to describe it is if you've ever had a clothespin, like a wooden clothespin that used to hang laundry up. A lot of people use chip clip bags.
Okay. Like the ones on the refrigerator? Like the ones with the magnet?
Yeah. Yeah. You can. So, and not saying that we're using those for sex. I'm just kind of giving people a visual representation of what we're talking about tonight. Because, when we say clamps, you can make the Futurama reference that we're probably going to make 1,001 times. But, it's our job to describe what we're actually talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, there are many different types between alligator clips, which are sharp-toothed metal ones, typically used for electronics and holding wires and other precious cargo. As Shep, for some reason, mimed on an audio podcast, it could be used for roach clips for the use of marijuana. So if you're a smoker or a toker, you probably know what one looks like. But also, a clothespin, chip clip, any of those things function as clamps. So that gives over the visual basics of what we're talking about tonight.
Going back to my college days and Visual Basic.
The first time I ever saw an alligator clip was with soldering. Like you'd put two wires. I had little mechanical arms. And as a kid, I'd play with them and be like, "I'm a robot with pinchers, clamps, little pinchers like a crab. I'm a little crab robot."
I think mine would have been like the clothespins, drying the clothes out on the clotheslines.
Yeah, but honestly, who is old enough to remember that? Well, okay, yeah, we are. We're old. We're old people, but
yeah,
we're in the podcast field, man. We got a young audience. Our audience is in their 20s. I'm kidding. Most of our audience probably in their 30s, 40s, because that's who listens to podcasts. We're not TikTok, so kids aren't listening to us.
I have seen Dondero streams and Dinks with the Kinks on TikTok though.
Yeah, we have both. We have been on TikTok.
Check us out.
Both at Nerd Mom Ace and the Dondero Streams TikTok. The Dondero.
Mm-hmm.
We have done a little representation.
We have done some representation. So
I am supporting
But
you.
that said, let's get into the why. Like, why would anybody want to clip? Or no, you know what? No, let's take it back one farther. The where.
well,
Okay.
the obvious is the nipples, obviously. And then there's
Right.
like the click clamp. Like you have
Click?
like that.
Oh, okay, wait.
Yes.
Rewind just a little bit.
Anywhere you can pinch an inch.
Yeah.
Pinch an inch. I was
Like-
going to start with the fingers, but it's cool. You know, you go full nip to clip. Hey,
Nip to
listen,
clip.
I like nip to clip immediately.
Well, I'm sorry.
Fine, we'll go tip
Well,
to
we can go
clip.
back to fingers.
Yeah, I was gonna start small and work. Now fingers doesn't seem that impressive because you went straight for the clip.
Well, of course,
I
start
mean-
small. That would be nipples and clit, because fingers.
I know, right? If we're gonna start small, isn't that where you should go first?
Right?
Absolutely. Typically, when people think of clips, they think of or clamps. They think of nipples. Nipple clamps are probably the best running gag in the whole wide world. You get your nipple clamps on, hooking a car battery up to you, stuff like that.
That one. That one's the one I always think of. I think of the big car battery clamps.
But yeah, you are right. A very popular area is the genitalia, not just female but male. I've seen when we talked about the cock and ball torture, the CBT, we did mention clamps there and paper clips to put on there, as well as vaginas and clits. Yeah, I have seen an entire vagina. You can't even see the vagina anymore because there were so many paper clips on it. Not paper clips. The wooden laundry clips.
oh yeah, the one clothespins.
Clothespins. That's the word I was looking for.
Clothespins.
Have you guys ever put a clothespin on yourself?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
I used to put them on my fingers and like have the long fingernails when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
the
Just like-
kid play. Yes. Done
Yes.
that.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, Shep.
Witchy
I wasn't
fingers.
asking if you were like wiring them
Extended
up.
witchy
to your
fingers.
testicles.
Yes.
I have actually had one on my testicle, not for sexual gratification, but just to experience. Okay, so I grew up in the age of Jackass and the Would You Do It, and I was a very much Would You Do It. I'll
I
do
can
it.
see that.
So
Did you
I've
enjoy it?
experienced it.
Monkey see, monkey do.
No, and that's going to be covered more in the how
Okay.
properly do it. So the wares, yeah, are, but it's not limited to just the nipples, fingers, and clit and genitalia. Clothespins can literally be applied to the entire body and are done often. I've seen full back displays. I've seen art done with it.
Mm-hmm.
This helps if you're not all skin and bones, unless you're really loose skin and bones. So we'll talk more about that in the housies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they do
at what
some-
point?
Well, like what's that? Like man, I can't even get the pattern in my head anymore. Sorry.
The pattern.
I'll come back to it. Sometimes that very specific pattern they do on the back.
With clothespins?
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know that. Like, you know, I didn't know of patterns, but you should Google that, and we should talk about it. You brought it up.
Yeah.
I've also
Rebecca,
seen
Rebecca has many of them.
nipples.
Waist injures. No, she doesn't have many nipples. She's not a
Oh,
cow.
corset.
I was about to say.
Corset.
I was like,
Corsets.
what? You're just like, I have many nipples? I'm like, all right, meh. All right, there I go. Okay.
I was making a
This
hookah
is not the hookah
reference.
episode.
All of a sudden, I turned into a cow.
I thought maybe you were hiding an udder or two somewhere, just like
I
you
haven't
know,
slept in
in that
24
belly
hours. I
button.
can't word. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, the corset pattern. Yeah, you're right. That's. I've seen that. I've also seen the Guinness World Book of Records. Yeah, one of y'all want to take a gather? How many the world record for clothespins on the face?
On the face?
Mhm.
Maybe 100 and something, maybe?
227. I don't know, some random number.
You're so random, Rebecca. We're going to call you Random Rebecca.
So you're going 200.
227, Alex.
All right. Go ahead.
All right,
Shep, give me
226
a
then.
guess. 226?
Without going
Wow.
over.
You guys are both over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my first guess was what, about 120 or so?
Yeah.
120. Shep is the highest without going over. The closest without going over.
Yeah.
The record is 161
Oh, wow.
by a Gary Turner on July 17th, 2013.
Got a lot of
Way
face
to go,
skin.
Gary. Get him.
Go get him, Gary. He's from the.
Go get him, Gary.
And he placed clothespins all over his face. I mean, have you guys not seen that picture? You should really look that up.
I'm sure it was like 20 years ago I saw such things.
Yeah, and before then, like I actually, when I was a kid, that was one of the first world records I saw, like the clothespins on the face, and how much you could fit safely on there. And so that's probably most of our introduction to more extreme. Oh yeah, I see the face of Rebecca who just Googled it.
I did.
Lot, right?
I did. He yeah. Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go, Gary.
So yeah, there is no predisposed location for clothespins. Have you guys ever put any clothespins anywhere other than fingers?
Other people, yes.
My arm, like like this like my forearm, where it's sort of loose skin right there.
Did you clip your
So.
weenus?
I have in fact
did
put
not clip my
weenus,
weenus.
yes.
I don't have my weenus is not very large. I have a small weenus. Sorry.
I have
You just
I have
gotta
clipped my
relax
weenus.
it, girl. Just relax it.
What you do is I would put like 3 paper clips, clothespins on my weenus while my arms are outstretched, and then you quickly bend your arms so it
Damn.
tightens all the skin, and then all of the clothespins will go shooting off.
Popping
See?
off.
It's
He's a
actually
professional
really
clipper.
cool to see. Mhm.
He is.
Okay, so let's get into the why. A lot of people do enjoy both pain and pressure sensations because a lot of
And
people
Science.
and science. Well, everybody enjoys science, especially if you're listening to this podcast. We're all science nuts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But a lot of people go into this going, "Oh, this is for pain only. Like I won't do this if I'm not into pain." And when I was doing research, I went into it thinking that, like, I was like, "Oh, this is somebody who gets off on the endorphins released from pain. They typically enjoy impact play, any type of pain play." And I was partially right, but also it's not so much of like the immediate pain of the clamp being on there, but the pressure and having them on there almost as a type of bondage. Like you can only move so much while you have that on there due to the pressure.
Speaking of
It kind
pressure-
of
Sorry. I was about to say, acupressure can also be considered a form of acupressure.
I was going to get to that acupressure. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did it again. No.
No, let's talk about it. No, let's talk about pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel the pressure.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm feeling
All right.
a little bit too pressured for this.
Well, I mean, I can, as somebody, I can see that though. I can see how the pressure and like, isn't there like a pressure point in your hand, like that
Mm-hmm.
skin right here, where
Webby.
like so. Yeah, the web part of between your thumb and your fingers, where I bet you could put a clothespin or something or push right there, like especially when you have a headache. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Especially when you want to try to give birth.
Pressure. Go
That's
ahead. Go ahead and say the word for it again for the pressure.
Acupressure.
Acupressure.
Acupuncture
Is
is the
very-
needles. Acupressure is just the.
It's very targeted to hit certain. Shep, you can explain this a little better than me as you being a professional masseuse and know of this world. So
Yes,
you
well,
use smart words.
not that I am smart. I just looked up the smart words because I fake it really well. But anyways, because most people know acupuncture, which is the application of these really fine tipped needles in particular pressure points and different meridians, all with the
What is a
Chinese,
meridian?
Those are different energy lines in the body. It goes to a
Okay.
lot of the in-depth, Asian medical sciences and such. But acupressure is pretty much one step back to where you're applying pressure instead of a needle to those specific points.
So, those of you who are probably familiar with this term, pressure points.
Mhm.
And usually it's in like action movies where you're like, I'm going to hit them at the pressure point and it will knock them unconscious. I'm going to spock you out.
We'll hit him in a triple eater.
And
At the end.
while
Clamp.
I'm going to clamp down on it. And while that, there is some truth to that, like you can control people with the use of pressure points. Typically, pressure points are used for massage therapy, knowing the points where to trigger reactions in the body through use of certain areas of the other parts of your body, i.e., the web area between your index finger and your thumb. If you have a headache, if you apply pressure there, it can relieve said headache.
Yes, and for people wanting to trying to induce pregnancy, that's one of the pressure points as well. Also help with that.
So when looking into clamps and like clothespin, it wasn't so much of the pain sensation that a lot of people described. It was the pressure, the steady pressure of it. And
Steady pressure.
no, don't get me wrong. There is a level of pain play here. I mean, that pressure can be painful. So if you're not prepared for it, go slowly. Also, the release of that pressure quickly. Like if we're talking, not just nipple clamps, but like clamping of the genitalia, clamping of the body. A sudden release of all that pressure releases endorphins beyond like anything else, because it's like all these muscles are being released at once. And a lot of times what people will do is they'll put all these clamps on and then weave rope through them or twine, whatever, and remove them all at once.
What?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
sounds
And then
fun.
Trick-
That just
The-
sounds like
the-
so much fun.
and the triggering of the pain is the act of the blood rushing back into those points that have been pressured off and stimulating those nerves once more. Tingly.
Absolutely. So let's talk about how to properly apply a clothespin, clamp, or clip. A lot of people, when you think about applying one of those, is just to squeeze them open over the area and then let go and let them clamp down. Yeah, good little snap. I don't know if I might pick up that.
Some
this
people
one of
are
those-
into that.
No, very much. There are a lot of people who are into that. We're not negating that's not an enjoyable sensation. But a lot of times, you put them on properly. You place them on the area. You place them very particularly, like you were very precise where you place them, and then you slowly clamp off the area.
Is this one of those things where you got to lick it before you clip it?
No, but you do want to apply firm yet steady pressure.
Okay, fine.
The clamps. Even with the nipples, the pressure points on those is so much like. Now, Rebecca, you enjoy having your nipples pinched, correct?
I do. I enjoy pinching. I do enjoy the pinching sensation.
Feels like a little
Now,
bit
is
in
it-
Tokyo.
Now, do you enjoy the act of grabbing and squeezing, or the once it's on there pressure?
Actually, I do like I like both. I also like the grab and like you pull a little bit. I enjoy that as well. So like the pinch and tug. So I mean, it's a little bit of everything. I like pinching and such.
Pinch and tickle,
Yeah.
pinch and tuggle.
Pinch and Duggle.
Personally, for myself, my nips are my no-no zones. They're my off limits. So that particular part of this was
Except
very hard
Daddy
for me
Shep.
to like.
Mhm.
No, you don't touch them. No one touches them. They're my no-no spots.
Not while
No,
you're
no,
awake.
no. Oh my. That being said,
a deep sleeper.
we're really at two sides of the same coin of people who enjoy the sudden pressure, and then some people who enjoy the onset of pressure and the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, a lot of times with nipples can take some abuse. They are literally made to be chewed on. Yes, Jeff, breastfeeding.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
literally designed. And I'm going to tell you right now, baby teeth are sharp.
Yes.
You've
Yes.
never been bitten by a toothing child. Those teeth come out like... All right, Shep, good representation. You like cats. You have cats. Do you remember when your cats were kittens?
Yes.
How much sharper are those teeth?
Yeah, they let's just say I've
We triggered
experienced that
Rebecca here with that.
sensation. we did, and I'm like, oh, like I just imagine for somebody who likes like pain as much as I do, that's a different thing. That's just like
That's
a
a whole different
totally
level.
different thing. That is a different
that's a-
level.
As somebody who has had both his kids draw blood on him by reaching in, grabbing something they shouldn't have,
Mm-hmm.
and nearly losing a finger to it because they're teething, the nipple can take a beating. So if you have that tolerance for pain, there's not a lot of damage you can't do that a teething child isn't going to try. So you're really pretty safe there. And so a lot of people do the alligator clips, the metal clips with the sharp teeth on them. Now, I do highly recommend not using anything above the small clips, because you can, in fact, remove your nipple if you if you use a more powerful one. There are rated ones. You should get a lower rated and work your way up. Don't start at jumper cables and work your way down. Start
But I want
at
a
a
jumper.
lower.
So I should use a jumper cable, right?
No. Absolutely test on your finger before you ever clip anything to part of your body, because, like I said, if you take a chunk out of your finger, you can still wrap a Band-Aid around that pretty easily.
And walk it off.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk it off. So nibbles can take a beating, but so can genitalia. Both of those areas are known for their durability under stress.
Yeah, booty cheeks.
No,
male
you know
sack.
what? We should look up the male sack can handle some clips. We should
Fun
look up the
fact.
world record for most clips on a genitalia. There's a world record for that. Go, Rebecca. Google it. You look like you wanted to.
What is it? Most clips on
Most clothespins on genitalia.
Yeah, they wrecked him
Honestly-
and damn near killed him.
Honestly, I just want this in her search history.
It's already there, and there
Everybody
is
says?
not. There is not one on record, at least that I can.
All right, Shep. DWK mission time. We've got to set that record.
And you,
Whose are we volunteering?
whoever can do the
I
best
figured-
bat wings, I guess.
You know, are we good
I
paper rock
figured-
scissors?
We should Ramshambo this absolutely before we figure out who's getting the clamps, or maybe
Say
we
the
all
name of
three
it
do the
first.
clamps.
I feel
What if-
like. Go ahead. Sorry.
What if we all do the clamps?
Okay.
Could that be ancillary
Maybe.
content? Could we do like some bonus content where we see how many clothespins we can get on our genitals while we record?
I might be on that. I might
So
be for that.
this sounds more like one of your other podcasts, not us.
Not if we do it in the name of kink. We could do a crossover
Scream
episode.
in the name
We
of
crossover
kink.
episode. Yeah, let's do it. let's do
I
it.
can't do
let's
very
it.
good bat wing, so I don't know if I have a surface
I'll-
area for that.
I'll call the D101 people, see if they would be down for doing a crossover
Oh
episode. and
no,
we'll
that a
clamp it up.
rude. She's a little prudy whore.
She is, but she'll do some weird shit with Don Darrow.
She will. She will.
Anyway.
I've been looking at, because I mean the first thing that comes to mind a lot of times when you talk clamps or clothespins or whatnot is obviously the nipples, and so when I started looking at the genitalia and the clit clamps and all of those things, though it is a different aesthetic look, it looks fun. Is it one of these ones? I don't know. And maybe it's just me because I'm just that person, but it looks like I would try that. Like, I would try that.
Yeah. Honestly, like I said, I suggested us doing this. I don't think I'm going to get any sexual gratification out of this, but it'd be an experience that I'm like, maybe it'll be fun. It will definitely be a thing. And like I said, when I was talking about the how, and I put one on my testicle, the method I said of let go and let God do its work, let gravity handle the rest. That's how it was applied to my testicle, and I'm here to tell you, not a fan of that. So I prefer the gentle placement over the, let
go and let
God.
physics
happen. Yeah, let God and physics handle this. That said, but placing clips on that, there are people who very much enjoy that and very much enjoy having them all removed at once, or how much you can have put on there. Now, your eyes got really wide, Rebecca. What's going on? What did you
I'm
see?
just going over images of clamps and whatnot, and there was one that I was not expecting.
Go ahead.
It's a clamp. It's almost like a clamp and sounding combo. I'm fascinated. I was not expecting that, but I'm like,
Okay.
now I sort of want to click on it.
So I'm not going to rediscuss sounding. If you want to hear sounding, go to the episode. We talk about it. We go in great detail. Sounding is inserting a rod into the urethral cavity of the male genitalia or female. What do they do? They keep it in place with the clamps on the outside?
Oh, well, I would have to click on this, and
Nope,
it's a
we're
video. Yeah, I'm like,
no.
it's a video, and I'm like, I don't need that on our recording.
Yeah, let's not. For copyright
We
reasons, of
might
course.
look at it,
Copyright
yeah.
reasons. Of course. That being said, I think this is a good time to start talking about safety. Anytime we discuss a kink that involves any type of body modification, body altering, or physical harm, we do want to talk safety. Number one safety is laceration through metal clips. When I talked about getting watching the caliber of clip you have on there, of course, any type of metal, any type of sharp edge can draw blood. So you want to make sure if you're using a clamp that has metal in it, take proper precautions, be aware. Antiseptic is a thing. Clean wounds. Anytime you draw blood, make sure you clean it properly. The next would be circulation, because now we're going to get into more the pressure play of clamps and all that. Your body does in fact need blood flow. All of it needs. There's
Really?
no part of your body that just like, you know what? I could go without blood for like a couple days. I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
That being said, anytime you apply pressure to any part of your body, the reason you're feeling it is because it is in fact altering your body, and you want to be mindful of what damage you could be doing. Research the pressure points, research more, and I know the research is out there because I've read it myself. It's not hard to search. Do research like here at Dinks with Kinks. We do research. We Google it. We dive into it. We read articles. There are many roadmaps of how to properly do this, how deep to go into it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Next being said, removal.
Yeah.
When we talked earlier about removing them all at once,
Mm-hmm.
something that can happen. Oh, Chip, you got
I
something?
was about to say, just slap them off. That's right?
Slap them. You can, in fact, slap them off. A lot of people do that. That is a form of play, of removing them through impact play. But be mindful, if you remove a lot of them at one time, like when we talked about the full pressure and the riding the themes, you can send your body into a state of shock. Any type of massive endorphin release or return of blood can cause lightheadedness, which can send your body into a state of shock. So just be mindful of it. It's not typically dangerous. I'm not saying don't do this, but be mindful. Don't be standing.
Be mindful. You could end up with a bent carrot.
Honestly, don't. If you're going to have a lot of these removed, don't be standing around a lot of sharp objects with nothing to grab onto.
Fair. I feel like the with the circulation, it's very similar to when we were talking about bondage and rope. Those are the same signs, same symbols. So just, everything applies same there. It's just a different type of, bondage and or, surface.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one thing we didn't really talk about in this episode is the bondage factor of it. Because the more research I did in Clips and Clamps, I was like, we're going to have a part 2. Probably not back to back because, I'll give it some time to and do a little more research. But there's so much more that goes into this kink. Like, this kink is so in-depth. And it's hard to clamp down on just one thing.
Ooh, we're going to have to clamp some people back to back now.
I am so proud of you. I am proud of you. That was
a good one, right? Okay.
Yes, that was a good one.
Are you proud of your work? Are you proud of your work?
I am. I'm very proud of that work. But that said, there's a lot more to talk about with this fetish, including the bondage aspects to it, nipple chains, which when you see knuckle clamps, there's usually a chain. So there's a whole section of this we haven't got into. So I want to do clamp bondage,
Grab the chains
and I want to put it on our wheel and do it as a whole episode, just full on clamp and clip bondage, and talk about more there. And again, always, if we miss something or you want to talk about more detail with us, reach out to us on that social media. We've had a couple people who are great between our Discords and social media and everything like that who've reached out and been like, hey, I caught up on this episode. I love what y'all did. Give us some more information. Talk about this next time or add this. And so, we are getting part 2s of stuff because you guys have been an amazing audience of reaching out and talking to us and telling us you did this right, but you need to talk more about this or like that. And like I said, I don't think we'll ever run out of kinks to talk about, but I'm always excited to go back and talk more about a kink.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to reach out and clamp someone.
Yeah, just put a little clamp. You guys ever do that? You ever clothespin somebody? Like to drive by clothespins?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Ears. Oh, my God. I used to get people in the ears all the time. I used to share an office with a bunch of us, and back when we were filmmakers, and we just had we'd always carry clothespins. And you'd walk by, someone's working at the desk, and just reach over, clamp, right on the ear. That said, we have 2 options. We could hammer out a date for us to do our genital clamping and film that, or we could spin the wheel and figure out what we're talking about next week. I am pro. Let's hammer out a date. Let's get this down. Let's get on Amazon, order some clothespins, and get this going. Or we could spin the wheel. I'll leave it up to y'all.
I want to spin the wheel. I want to spin the wheel. I think we can hammer it out later. But
I'll bring in the clamps right now, big boy. Come on.
You got how many clothespins do you have right now?
Enough
for us to both go.
His face.
Shep, are me and you gonna have a clamp off?
I'd say me and you, but I'll supply.
No, okay, here it is.
Roll that beautiful wheel.
Rebecca, I think you need to judge, and I think me and Shep need to have a clamp off.
I feel like I would love to be that judge. Can I be that judge? I would love to see. Yay! Okay.
We apply them to ourselves. and we'll just see how many we can successfully get onto our genitals. I feel like that's just a win for everyone. Our audience, the number one winners.
I actually enjoy my genitals, so why would I do that to them?
Well, I mean, you just
They're not much,
Jeff,
but I
if you
call
do
them
the
friend.
proper research. If you do the proper research, you can do them in a pain-free manner to get as many on there.
Okay, then why haven't you done your proper sounding research?
Because that is that. Do you want to have a sound off too? Is that what we're doing? I don't want to go that route, but I mean, if we have to go that route, I can't back down. Here, let's spin the wheel. Let's do this.
Yeah, I suggested spinning the wheel, but y'all just wanted to hash it out, so y'all go ahead.
We were. That said, people who enjoy sounding, guys, I love you to death. I have no issue with sounding whatsoever. But I will say clips and clamps are going on for part 2 for bondage. All right, I'm spinning the wheel, and we're going to see what we're going to be talking about next week. We're getting to some really, really, really crazy ones, and I'm excited about them. But not next week.
Me too.
Next week, we're going to get to a little core. We talked a little bit about it today, and, I think we are all very familiar with this. I mean, it kind of balances both our love of just hurting ourselves and our love for hurting each other. And, just get in there.
Get in there? Oh, God, I don't even know. I'm struggling here.
Sadism and masochism.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
We're going to get into the major differences and how to properly do them. But yeah, we talked a little about pain today. So maybe next week we really do bring the clamps out. Maybe we can make this into the episode.
I am a total masochist. I absolutely, I'm so here for it.
Apparently, next week me and Shep might be a little sadistic.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. We're going to be very masochistic to each other. Let's do the self-love, self-harm.
Oh, gotcha.
Again, as always, reach out. Tell us how we did. Tell us your thoughts on it. We've had so many fetishes. The proctophilia. We had a guy who has his own podcast reach out to us, and it was amazing to talk with him and have him come on and just chat more. So we want more of that. We want more people. We covered your fetish, but we also want to encourage, if we cover your fetish, go listen to about 4 episodes that are not your fetish. Go expand that mind, because we've had so many people listen to this podcast and go, I didn't know. I had no idea. I thought this, and you said that. And then I did research on my own and learned. So, yeah, if you're listening to this episode or you're listening to any of the episodes that are your kink, go out and listen to 5 that aren't. 5 that you're like, that's not my thing.
I didn't
and then
know.
You'd be like,
he said he would grow back.
He said it would grow back. That said, I am your host, John Andera, and with me, as always, a woman who is both beautiful and loves a little bit of masochism. Oh my God, I got a new word.
Masochism? Masochism? Exhibitionism and masochism. I like both.
We have the very beautiful Rebecca.
Good evening, everyone.
And my fellow in clamp, Mr. Shep.
Till next time.
Clamps!
Good night, everybody. Clamps!